Start my presentation with the introduction of my company, and the campaign we are learning is Think Bigger, which is so relevant to this conference idea. So I represent Knauf, which has a legacy of 160 years globally present in construction industry, and I've been working since 2002. This is my 20th year, connecting with architects, designers, education leaders, and hospital builders around India and in Asia. They say creative man is motivated by desire to achieve, not by desire, to comparison with somebody else. And success and leadership is all about being better than your former self than worried about the world and competition. So it's all about innovation. When we talk about innovation, we talk about awareness. We do not talk about knowledge, because knowledge is enough in this world and we have n number of access to do that. And metaverse and AI and machine learning are going to transform our life in many directions that we are not even as a human aware about. Like IIT Kanpur is working, I'm working with them for a hospital building, which is first time IIT is having medical facilities. So also IIT Bombay. And correct. So the next generations of humans has extraordinary capabilities which last millions of years human never have. So first time in the history of the mankind, man will going to extend his lifetime, which was a faculty not available to even kings and the most powerful people on the earth, that you and me can extend our life by printing our organs. Now, with all these things, what I'm saying is sound learning is based upon awareness on sound. Like I said in the first session, it's the exchange between a very knowledgeable, dedicated, powerful, curriculum-oriented, trained teachers and a very intelligent student. Can they connect each other when they come in the environment? And it can start at a very basic level, going back like a fashion to the old thing, like Gurukul education system. We had a tree, teachers, 6 students, and perfect education system, no reverberation, no background noise. But when we moved into a concrete building, did we really pay attention to this faculty? We are building our infrastructure. We are putting entire population of America is in education, engage in education curriculum. That's the power. So whatever we are doing right now in next 1,000 days in this part of the world will have a solid impact in the way Earth function. And this is like big connections we have in the way the human as a race is going to function when AI and machine learning will come to a reality. Today, students are learning the subject from the best teacher across the globe. My daughter who was in 12th, she was learning physics from somebody who has 6 lakh views, explaining the one topic of physics. This is a reality. So all the limitations, all these factors which were overpowering us last 20 years do not exist as we move ahead. But still we need a collaboration, still we need a behavioral aspects, still we need a connection between teacher and students far more than before. And sound will play a very important thing, and we are very lucky as a country to have a very progressive national building code, but having something and not using it is not having it, right? So we have a policy and documents, 60 acousticians, and we did a lot of study across 50 campuses, got what sort of sound and what should be the global norms. A lot of deliberation happened, we got the code. But today we have, like, if you get into a normal school, it's as noisy as your marketplace. And this is the reality. None of these schools are qualifying the National Building Code when we did the test first. Why? Because none of these schools were really designed for National Building Code and sound. Architects, designers, and the owners of the institutes, higher education, K-12, coaching classes, all is not qualifying the 0.6 seconds norm. Now, let's understand sound. 0.6 seconds of reverberation, what do you mean by that? So basic definition in 7th standard is reverberation time is time required for sound to die by 60 decibel. So reduction of the sound from 80 decibel to 20 decibel, in seconds, what's the time required? Like this room is not really great. You can see an echo coming in, you know. So if you have a 2 seconds of reverberation time in your lecture hall or your classrooms, means if teacher says, hi, how are you? When you say you, hi is still in the air. So communication is not creating noise from an orifice. It's the emotions which is getting transferred to the language, and hence a native language or a foreign language plays a huge role in understanding emotions. So if you do not have a space between the word and within the word, like if you say book in a high reverberant room, boo has a different reverberation echo. So it's a different, even you have a book open in front of you, like Mr. Chavan from Pratham keep on releasing this report every year for last 15 years. A 7th standard girl cannot do a mathematics in a 3rd standard book, or a boy cannot read a 1st standard poetry. Not that they do not have a great cell. If you have an average brain, you are superhuman, right? We say that. But where is the faculty exist in our education system? And situation is worse when you go to higher education. If you see the Central University of Rajasthan, 600 square meter cube room. So it's the size, shape, and surfaces. If they are not paid attention to, you have higher reverberant room. So only mother telling, go and sit in the first 2 rows. These are the golden seats. If you sit in the back bench, you will be a backbencher. We are producing great quality of engineers, doctors, architects in this country. These are the subjects which are taught on the board. You're either right or wrong. You know, so this came up in discussion with Professor Gade of Pune University. Not professor, he was vice chancellor at that time. And we did some research out there. So language is somewhere we are lacking big time, because when we heard for the first time, the way I absorb the language, that's the way I'm speaking for the rest of my life. 90% of the teachers do not know how to speak in this country, because they are the one, that is how they learn in the school. So unless we transform something dramatically by building awareness around this, A, B, making it compulsory for communication to be a heart of our performance, we have enough knowledge around. Like Khilji took 6 months to burn the knowledge when he came here and conquered India, but you know, in 6 minutes we can have all that knowledge available to our students. So this is a testimony where I have resources today. Sound? Artist study, ISCR, first floor, 110 classroom. Ceilings are gypsum fitted, doesn't give acoustics. We have best speaker on the wall, but if room is dysfunctional for reverberation, it doesn't help what speaker you and sound system you have. For such a small room of 80-seater, you don't need speaker. What you need is classroom design for reverberation time of 0.6 seconds. That's our national building code. So you have money, we have put false ceilings, we have treated the classroom, But nobody knows the sound is so important. So he put some Bosch speaker, which is 1 lakh rupees. I'm working with Sir J.J. College of Medical, and he is the advisor for Maharashtra government, Professor Zaure. So we are designing the policies around how the classroom should be. So money is available. We are not same poor country 60 years back. We are talking about 2030 taking over all of the economy and being third largest economy, right? Even if we convert the black economy into white, will be second largest, right? But yes, we have power, we have resources, we just need a knowledge and awareness. Couple of more case studies, like this is a hall.
What you are saying?
The international conference is already being organized in this particular hall.
So we have n number of examples. I won't spend more time on this because this is newer.
60 seats a classroom. Reverberation time 3 seconds. No ceilings currently. This is the smallest classroom we have in the campus.
So you have somebody has covered those ducts because they are air conditioned, but the designing of classroom is not functional. So classroom after classroom, 5 seconds. 5 seconds is like echo chamber. You won't hear anything.
Area of lecture complex. Sound coming from all the sides. Even a small whisper and talk.
The next area is
staircase is visible, and you can hear the murmur all around the room. So we need to treat classrooms for sure, but also the passages and common areas, so as to reduce the reverberation in the entire building. You can feel on the video right now.
You can't get what I'm saying. Even if 10 students come there and mingle with each other, like this will be a fish market. So if you are concentrated, learning something, you get distracted. Study shows it takes enormous amount of time to come back to the same level of concentration. So connection between teachers and the students is at the heart of the quality performance outcomes of our education. It's a low-hanging fruit. We can fix it with no resources. Actually, it doesn't require. What is required is maybe the 15 days of teacher salary to fix one classroom for like next 20 years. So cost per student per year is few paise. What are we talking about? Right? So we need to do something basic right in this country. These are 1.5 second sounds. The same room fitted well.
1.58 actually, which is after the treatment that we are getting this.
Same professor, same classroom, you did a treatment to reduce reverberation, it just became functional. Now, why haven't we really noticed this problem for so long in our country? Relevant question, right? Whatever I'm showing you is with no background noise. I've done this test 6 o'clock in the morning or 8 o'clock in the night. Because if you have a noisy environment and a reverberant room, the background noise level is so high that it covers up the reverberant noise. Now, if somebody who's a student of physics, he knows sound get added logarithmically. So it doesn't mean that you add 60 decibel to a 70 decibel sound, it will become 60 plus 70. We can't take it. It just became 3 dB more. You know, it's log 10 added to the original sound. So what is happening is every sound in a highly reverberant classroom is getting added to the background noise, the next side classroom's noise. And entire thing is so dysfunctional that you enter into an education institute, you find your sound meter is showing 60 decibel or 65 decibel. As a human, I can only take 75 decibel. 90 decibel, I will develop a deafness. So I'll not take more time. This is case study we already saw, so we save some time. Some little basic around sound. There's a universe square law. As sound travel 1 meter, it rise by 6 decibel, 2 meter, another 6 decibel, 4, 8, 12, like that. Every doubling of the distance, sound dies by 6 decibel. So that back peak students are not getting the same intensity of sound as they go away from the source of sound. Also background noise level. So there are instruments. I've seen large institute across India having, like one institute having generator set in the basement of the college. So when you run a generator set, the background noise level, entire building is going up. And this is one of the prestigious institute in the country. So where you orient your glass as in windows, where you build your wall, where you put your PlayStation, like instead of an institute have a playground in the courtyard, which is covering by the classrooms. So We can do anything in the education system, but if we don't do learning, that is not an education institute. It's a simple definition. The WELL standard are not talking about carbon counting anymore. They're talking about productivity of the people and a satisfaction and a purpose being delivered into the building, whether it is a hospital, school, or anything else, or office. Who is at more risk? The students, enormous risk, we know that. But there's a huge risk to our teachers also. So teacher in the first class is speaking with X degree of productivity, second her thoughts go out, third she doesn't teach. So we are paying full salary and they are delivering only 20% of the output. The bigger risk to the students also, and when you work in a noisy environment, the teachers are developing a lot of problems because they can't communicate, they can't connect, they repeat themselves, they develop complex in themselves that they are not good enough, and there are psychological, emotional, behavioral issues which comes out of it. So I will not spend, we have limited time here, but I can spend this thing with your facility heads, architects, around sound and acoustics. As I said, it's a size, shape, and surfaces which only matters, and we can fix it up. This is in our control, and let's do that with minimum intervention, minimum cost effect, so that quality of education in this country can go up. And what measures get delivered. On a smart app, you can have 2 apps for sound measuring and a reverberation time. Build your awareness around sound. You see what level you sleep. Your sleep level will change dramatically if you sleep in 10 dB, lesser noisy environment. You know, you go and clap and do a background noise or reverberation time test, you know what kind of problem you have. You can mitigate and fix it. So 35 decibel is a global norm for background noise. India do not have anything. We talk about 45 decibel in Griha, but that's something which is not must. So as a human without speaker, I can only speak at 65, 70 decibel. And only when I can modulate my voice, I can communicate. So I require a background noise level of 40, 45 decibel minimum so that I can reach out to the last bench and also can communicate and articulate well as I speak. This is at the heart of the performance in Education Institute. We need to have this as ASAP. So I already given an introduction of, we really take a pride in making a difference across the world where we learn, heal, work, play, and every space we work in. These are different pictures for new IITs and IIMs. We have integrated lighting such that light will be right in front of the desk. So there's a tech zone system which has acoustical rooms. The entire campus of Symbiosis and other thing which we are doing newly is very well designed with integration of speakers, lighting, acoustics, everything falling in place, and treating the corridor also. So aesthetic is important, but what is more important is functionality. You know, so these are different ways we can have the solutions being implemented into. So every space requires different treatment, different selection of materials, optimally doing it. I saw one of the IIMs which has spent 2 crore on one classroom, not required. You can do it in 50 lakhs, you can do it in 10 lakhs. But focus is missing. Focus is just doing something which is good for eyes. We don't need to do that any longer. So, you know, this is at Jharkhand School Auditorium, Dharmaram College right in Bangalore, which is refurbishment, also wall treatment. So there's a science around this and we can fix it up with minimum intervention, as I said before. Yeah, so it is not only the appearance, it's the experience of the people, student, teachers into the premises such that it is fit for purpose. It improves quality of our life, our health and well-being, and our productivity. So thank you so much for your patient listening and attention. I could give my best when you're listening. So thank you.